Agriculture takes a lot of different faces, and here at Tanner Farmstead, we're gonna see what spring salad and a little bit of poultry look like with my buddy Dirk Tanner.
My name is Dirk Tanner, and the name of our farm is Tanner Farmstead. We're here in Greenbrier, and we love it here. So here on Tanner Farmstead, we raise everything you think of that can go into a salad. So we've got head lettuce, spring mix, spring onions, radishes, kale, chard. The list goes on. We do grow some seasonal vegetables as well, like eggplant and tomatoes. But the majority of what we grow is for a salad, and we also rotationally graze chickens for their eggs. So I got started into farming about 5 years ago when I read Curtis Stone's book, The Urban Farmer. And at that time I was living in Denver, Colorado, and the whole idea of growing food on a small scale and actually like making money and being able to do it for a living really captured my heart. And I grew really passionate about food and had been passionate about health and food for a long time, but realizing that I could actually grow food on a small scale and run a small scale farm and make money doing it really excited me. Food is medicine to me. It makes sense. And I think that obviously in our culture today, a lot of things is more geared towards treating, disease with a pill. And obviously there's a time and place for that, but I think food is medicine and food impacting our health, it makes sense. And it's a holistic approach to health. And so eating whole foods, knowing where your food comes from, knowing how that animal was raised if you're eating an animal product, or knowing how vegetables are produced if you're eating a vegetable. To me, those things make sense, and it is in turn going to result in the health of our bodies. So right now with the farmstead, we sell at a farmer's market. Well, we're currently in the process of building a farm stand. That way we can bring clients to us, and so that we can get them to the farm, they can kind of experience, getting to see their food produced in action. So I'm currently 30 years old. My wife is as well. I think a lot of farmers that we see, even at the farmer's market, are older. There are several couples that have been farming for a long time that go to the farmer's market we currently attend, and they're getting up there. They're getting older. There are some younger people that I see getting into farming, which excites me because that is a passion of mine, is teaching other people how to grow food, whether they're growing it just for them and their family on a backyard homestead scale, or whether they're wanting to start a market garden and grow food for sale to the public. But I think more and more people are starting to get into small scale regenerative agriculture, which excites me a lot to see that. But at the same time, we need more people.
All right, Dirk, so you are going through a major transition, exciting transition, in that you're going from the farmsteader that has experience with an open source market, but you're going to become a farm stander. So what? Why did you decide that you want to go that route versus simply going to a farmer's market
100%. It's a great question, and it's something that I've wrestled with because I love farmers markets. However, if it's a rainy day, if it's you have a cold front come through, maybe there's a hog football game, it can greatly dictate and make things really hard to predict with sales. The other piece to that is we want to bring people to our farm. I think people, they love food, and I think people that are interested in local food, being able to go to the farm and buy food where it's being produced, for a lot of people, they've never seen that. They've never visited a farm. They're not connected to their food at all. So even if it's just a farm stand on the property that people come to, when they pull up, they can see our chickens at the top of the hill. They can see our greenhouses. And I think people feel a sense of connection to food in that way. And that's why we wanted to kind of transition and bring people to us.
I love that. That's just facilitating the connection, just making that food more of an experience. That's beautiful. When you talk about the open source farmers markets, because I try to differentiate between like what we do. We are a farmers market, but it is a more of a specialty outdoor grocer, right?
100%.
So farmers market, because it's a catchy term, we're going to use it too. But there's a big distinction in a retail market that's privately owned, and then a farmer's market made up of a lot of different vendors.
Yes.
Right? And with that, one of the biggest things that I have found is that you are not necessarily in control, right? When you're a booth, right, of the bigger that's going on, and they're typically 1 or 2 days a week. And the retail side, I think, is extremely powerful. It is one that we have control on. We can build a brand. We can market the way we want to market. We can bring in the products we want and not necessarily bring in the products we don't want. So I think that you're making a major positive move. I think that's beautiful. And that's part of why we're here, is because we're launching that Sowing Prosperity Institute, where we want to teach more retailers, farmers, to become retailers. So the farmstead to farm stand is a big part. And so what have you had as the biggest challenges or biggest questions in making those first few steps?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first challenge is, financials, the upfront cost of laying a gravel pad and having some type of structure. How do you get electricity to it? All of those factors. Things are expensive, as we know. And so I think that being one, and then the question of just, okay, we build this, like, how do we get people to come to it? And that's a question that I have for you of, do you just, create a social account and kind of build it and they will come mentality? Because I know there is an aspect of marketing that you've got to do, and you got to get the word out and all that. So honestly, right now, that feels like, okay, once we get it ready to launch, what's our next step? And so that's my question for you of, like, what would you do if you were in our situation? What would you do to kind of launch, get the word out, to get people to come to our farm stand?
I love it. Yeah, because it's a big challenge. Marketing is a big thing that a lot of farmers don't realize the importance. And so what we have done with that at our place is we partner with farmers to grow everything for us. So we have a plan before season, because we know what people are wanting. That's part of the answer to your question. And then we will commit to buy everything from them. And so when we do that, it allows them to do what they do. Grow, farm. A lot of farmers don't want to interact with people. A lot of farmers don't want to go to farmers markets, right? But they love what they do for various reasons. And then focusing on the retail. A massive part of that is building a brand. It's letting people know you can have the greatest product in the world. If nobody knows about it, they're not going to buy it.
Completely.
Right? So you've got to be able to communicate in a way that people understand, and you're solving a very important need or want that they have, right? So when we have spoken before, you mentioned that you go to Hillcrest Farmers Market because people are there that want or need your products, right? So sometimes people don't realize that they need or want something until they become aware of it. So yes, social media is obviously part of that, the word of mouth. I think what has made us successful to the degree at which we are is by relationships. Everything always goes back to relationships. When you treat somebody good, when you take care of them, they're going to take care of you. Do that in a way where you're pricing things to where you make money, you have to make money, and they get what they need.
Completely.
That's a value, right? It's a value proposition. So you kind of the steps that I do is create your identity, right? Mental, your mission statement, why are you in business, and share your why. Simon Sinek is kind of the one that coined that golden circle and how you do that. So message your why, message how or why you're doing it, and this is how we do it based off the why. And then as that happens, it trickles. It's a snowball. We've been doing this a very long time. And we're still learning and adapting. But start with that why if you're doing it. Share your why, and then start getting into more of the strategic aspects. Google My Business. It's massive.
Completely.
It's massive.
Yeah.
A logo. It is crucial because you have to have that consistency in branding. You do have to have a website. In this day and age, you have to.
Oh,
and
completely.
you have to capture contact information. I think that is the foundation of building that customer base.
Yeah. No, and you're so spot on with, just the marketing piece, and I think a lot of people just, they want to grow like you said, the farmer, they want to grow the product. They want nothing to do with the people. For me personally, I think the people part is where it's really rewarding because you're getting that feedback. of like how this product's great. This was so good. It lasted so long in the fridge. And to me, that's what I love about the farmer's market, to be honest. Actually going to the market is the people. So
it's relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, that, at the end of the day, and that's what is so important and why I'm so passionate. So on building up this retail aspect, because it's the hub. It's the hub of a community that provides the link between the farmer and the consumer. And so as you and I have discussed, numerous times, cancer is the core that created the passion. For me, it was my son. For you, it was your father. And so when, I look behind us and I see broccoli sprouts, like, and I know, because as much as business is like a passion, it doesn't even come close to the health side of it. Like I spend hours and hours every single day researching. So like sulforaphane is a compound in broccoli sprouts that is extremely anti-cancer, right? And so like being able to facilitate that, to bring that to a market, but then educate in a way, and not you can't make claims, right? You can't make these off the hip claims, but there's a lot of scientific evidence that
100%.
Sulforaphane is effective in cancer.
Yep.
So that's the other piece that goes back to that marketing, is like I said, sometimes people don't know they need or want something, right?
Yes.
They may not know that they need to consume broccoli sprouts. And that is an opportunity for us not only to create awareness, and I say us as in the retail piece of agriculture, to educate and provide it.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. And some people don't even, like you said, like some people, they care about what they eat, but maybe they've never even tried, microgreens or broccoli sprouts or this Tokyo picana, cabbage microgreen. So, like you said, making people aware, and they're also really good. They're really tasty. So that definitely helps.
I love it. All right. So where can we find out more about your farmstead? Farmstead, and how can somebody maybe learn or implement some of the first steps that you're talking about?
Yeah, so you can obviously follow us on social media. Our social media right now is really geared towards educating people of how to grow and produce food. That's one of my biggest passions, is obviously, yes, if we love growing it for people, some people, they have no desire to grow their own food. Maybe they don't have the time, they don't have the desire, maybe they don't have the resources, but they will happily pay for it every week. So we love growing food for people like that, but our heart and passion is teaching other people how to do it. So we have a website, tannerfarmstead.com. You can go there, learn more about our story, learn more about our farm, kind of our farming practices, and then obviously following us. And we'll be creating more accounts, especially as we start the farm stand. That'll be its own separate, social accounts and all that. But those would be the biggest ways to stay in touch with us, get to know us a little bit more, and learn as well.
Learn. Well, I'm excited. We're here for you, brother Rymick. We're in this together for the long haul. Make sure that you're successful and that we can learn how best to teach other people how to implement these strategies, how we find all those little trips along the way. We know what we did, and then as we work together and get you to the next step, man, it's gonna be incredible. So there's a lot more to come.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the help so far, and I'm excited about it. So thank you.
Me too. All right, Dirk Tanner, Tanner Farmstead. Farm tours are one of my favorite things that we get to do, and gathering eggs, that brings back a lot of good memories. I hope you enjoy learning more about where our food comes from, because it's extremely, extremely important, and enjoyed getting to meet my buddy Dirk, Tanner Farmstead.